So I just clicked the recording. Shalom, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Omer Eshel. I'm the CEO of the Bible Come to Life Travel and Education Center and good friend with Pastor Chris Brown for many years. And thank you so much, Pastor, for having allowing this opportunity to speak to everybody, to explain about what's going on in Israel. And then, of course, I would like to hear your opinions and your thoughts and your wishes. So,
Mhm.
just a few words about me. I'm the proud father of Ella and Tamar, and I'm the proud husband of Michal. And I always say that I'm married up, and I'm very proud of saying that. And my wife always tells me, "You better say that." So I'm well trained. What we're going to do today, if this is going to be okay with you, we will go over an itinerary of how a study tour in Israel looks like. So I made a quick PowerPoint, and I'm going to share the screen with you guys to show you how a tour in Israel look like. But before that, I would like to speak about current events right now and current issues in Israel right now, especially regarding COVID-19. And from there, I'll take it to the virtual tour, so to speak. Is that okay with everybody? Is that okay?
That's good.
All right, perfect. So let me start. Hold on one sec. We're having more people coming in. Let me start by sharing the screen with you of the latest updates of what's going on right now in Israel, according to our Ministry of Health. Now, you guys know the bumper sticker that says,
It's like a sarcastic. It's like a sarcastic asshole.
all right, there you go. So here is what I want to show you guys. Everybody see this? Thumbs up. All right. This is one of the best tools that we have in Israel. It is made by our Minister of Health. The problem is it's only in Hebrew. You cannot get it in English. This is, I started to speak about the bumper sticker that, you have those bumper stickers that says plan ahead, and then it starts to be very, really small, the ahead, they didn't think it through. Same thing. So what I'm going to do now, I would like to translate what we are seeing right now, and that will give you the absolute best statistics of what's going on in Israel right now. So as of yesterday, we have 337 new COVID positives. That's it, 337. We have 16,253 patients, active patients in Israel. Out of them, we have 548 in harsh condition. This is the biggest thing that everybody speaks about all over the world of what's going on here. We have 5.1, almost 5.2 million people who are vaccinated against COVID-19. The entire population of Israel is 9. So we're talking over 50% of the population is vaccinated. Once we're going to reach critical mass of 70%, that's it. The nation is vaccinated. You don't need to reach 100. 70%, we're good. That's it. This is incredible. We have 1.8% of positive COVID. That's it. And when you look at the charts, I want to show you the biggest one. This one right here. This says percentage of positive for COVID-19. If we're going to go to February the 20th, a month ago, we had a percentage of 6.6%. Today, we are at 1.8. It is declining. There's no doubt. It is declining. When we look here at this statistic right here, what is the objective? Not objective. There is a perimeter that the bigger it is, the bigger the perimeter it is, the more contagious the disease is. So a month ago, it was on 1. Today, we're at 0.6. So it is dropping drastically. We're looking here, the average per week, average COVID-19 per week. A month ago, 3,746. Today, 1,324. This is the biggest one I want to show you. In Israel, sections and cities are categorized by 4 colors: red, orange, yellow, and green. Green being completely safe to go, no COVID. Yellow, okay. Orange, We have some limitation, red limitations. Look at these numbers. On March the 7th, we're talking 2 weeks ago, we had 44 cities which are red, 44, and 71 which are green. Today, look at this. We have 5 which are red and 181 villages or settlements which are green. So to make a long story short, it really works. It really does. I want to show you the vaccination charts. Look at this. Between the age of 60 and 69, 88.1% received the first shot, 82.6% received the second shot. When we look at age of 90 and above, 96.6 of the population is vaccinated. Look at this, 10 to 19. Folks, they don't even have clear studies on children yet. And we have 20% of children between the age of 10 and 19, 20% of them are vaccinated, which is incredible. The numbers are really going fast. They really are incredible. And hopefully, by the grace of God, by Easter, I think that we are going to be good to go. We are going to be quite a safe nation to be at. Easter and later on entering into the summer will be life in Israel right now is pretty much back to normal. So you can go to concerts, you can go to restaurants, you can go to the theaters, you can go clubbing even if you want. You can go to the gym. Everything's fine. They do have something that's called the green passports. It's only for Israelis. Green passport is that it's a barcode that you show that you were vaccinated, and there's no limitation. Even if you were in a vicinity of a positive COVID-19, you will not go into quarantine because you are vaccinated. So people ask me, okay, well, what happens if I'm not vaccinated? It's my body. I decide to do what I want with it. No one can make me take the vaccination. True, it is against the law to force someone to be vaccinated, but you do have to have a test. So if you show a test which is no more than 48 hours old, same regulations. It's exactly the same as being vaccinated. To make a long story short, when you guys are going to arrive to Israel, you will going to have a test which is 48 hours old. Upon arrival to the airport, you're going to get a rapid COVID test. And then before you go back home, because this is the United States require that, you're going to have another test at the airport, or we're going to bring the lab to the hotel up to 72 hours before the flight for you to board the flight back to the States. Okay? Question about COVID before we go to the itinerary.
Now, if you have proof that you've been vaccinated, do they still do the tests?
As of now, yes. As of now, everybody has to do the test before they arrive to Israel. It can be the short test, it can be the long test, doesn't matter. You have to have the test. Now you're going to ask me, will it be like this all the time? No, actually, they changed the regulation about 3 days ago. 3 days ago, you didn't have to do it. Now you do. So talk to me tomorrow. Let's see what our brilliant government is going to have in mind back then.
Did you have a question, Melinda? I think Melinda had a question, so if you could unmute her.
Yeah, absolutely. Melinda, where are you? There you go.
You got it. So I guess we were thinking, like, do you see this, this trip that we're talking about today is next year. I mean, I know it's hard to forecast what that looks like, but I would imagine it'll change significantly or either get worse or get better, one of the two.
I think because of the way the vaccination is working today, it's not like the regular vaccination. It's not, for example, if you take the flu vaccination, it has a very weak virus in the syringe, and that's how your body learns how to cope with that. This is completely different. This is different approach. The approach of the vaccination today, all of them, I'm not talking about the Russians one. I have no idea what the Russians did with their vaccination. But the Western world, they're using what they call the RNA. It's called an RNA messenger. It's something within the nucleus of the cell of the virus that if there is any kind of variant or any kind of mutation, it is very easy to change it and to adapt it. It's not biologically based, it's chemical based completely. So it's very, very accurate. So what I'm saying is, if there's going to be a variant, for example, we were just now, that big wave that you hear about in Europe, what's going on in Europe, that they're being shutting down left, right, and center. We are in the midst of it. Israel is in the midst of it, of the British variant. Because of the vaccination, us actually, and England is the same thing. Because of the vaccination and the way that they're able to change the vaccination according to the current variant, we don't see, and we do see an effect, but very, very, very small, not like Europe.
Okay, I have a question about the 48-hour test. You have to have that done before you leave the US, and then you have a rapid test once you arrive in Israel and Tel Aviv, I'm assuming. And then what happens when that 48 hours is up? Do you have to get another test? I mean, we would be there for more than 2 days.
No. What happened is, after you arrive, we're gonna be travel as a capsule. The bus is one capsule. No one is allowed to go on the bus. The entire time you're with one guide, one driver. That's it. No one is allowed in and out to the bus. It's one organic group. Also in the hotels, you're going to be situated in capsules. So it is enough for you to have one test. That's it upon arrival, and another test before you leave back to the States.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Also, another thing, thank you for reminding me, Melinda, we are using what we call the purple badge. Okay, purple badge is a set of codes that were done by our Minister of Health, again in Hebrew, and it's only places that are following those very strict rules, we use them. For example, keeping social distancing, keeping capsules, hygiene is very, very high, X amount of people in confined places. So places that do not follow that purple code are not allowed to be open. When we will not go to places like that. For example, as of now, Bethlehem doesn't have the purple code. So Bethlehem, as of now, we will not be able to go. Hopefully by the time we're going to have the trip, God is great. So we'll see what happened then. But as of now, we cannot.
Now, is that purple code based on the authorities that are in that area, whether they adhere to those rules or not?
Yes, the purple code has been mandated by the Ministry of Health, the Israeli Ministry of Health.
Now, Bethlehem's a red zone, isn't it?
Bethlehem is Palestinian Authority, so it's not even
That's what I thought.
the zone. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Bethlehem, they got it pretty bad. I mean, Bethlehem, the entire Palestinian Authority, the way they distribute the vaccination over there, let's say it's not that democratic.
Mm.
And I know it's recorded, so this is where I'm going to end. Yeah, Milton, let me open your mic. Hold on one sec. Milton, open your mic down below on the left corner. I cannot hear you. Milton, I cannot hear you.
Milton, is your volume up?
Hear me now?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. I can assume that if the status changed between now and our trip, we could, if we initially wanted to go to someplace like Bethlehem, okay? Because I've never been to Bethlehem. I've been to Israel for, this will be my 4th time. And there's people that like to be able to see their Bethlehem Bible College as well. Of course, like to see the sites that are there. So I'm assuming that if the status was a change between now and that time, we could make the adjustments with your group, possibly make the adjustments group if the group wants to go to Bethlehem if the health status changed between now and the time we were coming there. Or is our trip going to be planned and we can't make alterations based on
one of the nice things that we are proud of at the Bible Center is our flexibility. I can give you an example, Milton. Let's say we're going on a trip, and on day number 5, we get an email from our government saying, "Hey, Bethlehem is open. Let's go to Bethlehem." The fact that we have the itinerary, we are very flexible to a point that if, let's say, we are driving on a highway and then Pastor Chris says a mount and says, "What is this?" And we say, "I don't know, it's the Mount of Hatzor." and it's not an itinerary, you can say, okay, let's go see Mount of Hatzor. Sure, let's go and do that. We build it in a way that it is extremely, extremely flexible, extremely.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Debbie, are you trying to speak? I see somebody. Okay.
No, not me.
Okay. Any other questions by anybody? Before he goes on to talk about the different locations?
Melinda?
Number of travelers that have to be in our group.
Again, I couldn't hear
Is
you.
there a minimum number of travelers that we have
Usually,
to have?
yeah, usually the minimum number of travelers is 20, 25, something like that. Below that, the airlines are not going to view us as a group. So that's usually the minimum, yeah.
Okay.
Sure. All right. Itinerary?
Yeah, just to answer one thing, to comment to Melinda too. This group is not just confined to Cornerstone. We do have some other people that may be joining in. So if anybody knows anybody who wants to be a part of this group, we want to keep it below, probably below 50, because we want to stay on one bus. Is that correct, Omer?
We can reach all the way to 60 on one bus. It's
Oh,
not
really?
that-
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking 54 was the total on a bus. Okay, so if we want to stay under 60 because we want to confine it to one bus. Once you get more than one bus, then it really slows down your tour, or it can slow down your tour with more people. But like I say, let's just see how we do. But if you have people who are interested, let them know. I mean, they're welcome to join the group.
One of the things, by the way, one of the ways that we do to bypass this problem, as you say, Chris, the number of people. If you're going to have 60 people, it's still going to be two buses, because I don't want to confine 60 people on one bus. Legally, we can. You guys are going to hate me at the end of the day, rightly so. So the way we do it is that it's even if it's a large enough group, each bus will be like a group by itself, but people can still alternate. They can still alternate, or sometimes what we do, we alternate the guide. So you're in one bus, but the guide is being alternated. And let's say you have an itinerary, one group will start in Capernaum, and the other one will start in the Golan Heights, and then they will meet somewhere in the middle. It's doable. It's very easy. It's very doable. We've done it many, many, many times. I don't like, though, and I agree with you, I don't like to wait. If we have, for example, last year we had a group of 130 people. So it was 4 buses, 130 people were 4 buses, and they didn't wait to each other. So because it's impossible to, it's too slow. So each group was by itself, but only in key times like communion or lunch or something like that, then they met together. All right.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I will dive in to an itinerary. The itinerary that we're going to see now, it's a sample itinerary. It's not. I mean, this can be our itinerary, or it can be something similar to this. Everybody see that? Thumbs up. Perfect. All right. So this is us. tbctl.com. We have here an abundance of educational materials. This is our mission, is to teach the Word of God. That's our mission. So when you go to the Bible Come to Life, you have educational toolbox. You click on that, and you have more than 110 movies that speaks about archaeological discoveries that proves the Bible, and they are categorized by books of the Bible. Okay, you will gonna have some overlap. So, for example, if you're gonna have a movie about a site that is mentioned both in Zechariah and in Nehemiah, then you're gonna have them on both sections. But this is just as a side note of what is tbctl.com. So this is a little bit about Israel. Okay, distances. Israel is tiny. You can fit Israel in Texas 50 times and still have plenty of room to swim about. And one of the things that I always joke around and saying to people, Jesus walked from place to place. He didn't fly. He didn't have any, tall highways. He walked in a good day on a donkey, white donkey. That's basically it. So it's very, very short. Why am I saying this? On a study tour, which is different than a regular tour, it's a huge, huge difference. A study tour, and Chris been with us, he knows what I'm talking about. We are going to bombard you with biblical truth day in, day out. You will be exhausted, not because you climbed the Everest. You'll be exhausted because you're going to see the truth of the Word of God every single day. And that's a huge, huge take on your soul. Huge, which is great. That's the idea behind it. But you'll be bombarded, and later on you can go back and watch those movies again and again and again, just to keep it fresh in your mind. So day number 1 and 2. Why 1 and 2? Because day number 1 we lose it because we fly east. Okay, because of the time differences. Day 1 and day 2 is we basically lose a day coming in. So we're gonna leave from the States, land in Israel, and then we're gonna our guide is gonna pick us up from the airport. I put Turkish because we have very good connections with Turkish Airlines, and it doesn't have to be Turkish, but they're very good airlines and they're very, very flexible. So that's why they're there. So once you land in Israel, you're probably going to be in the evening. The guide will pick you up and you're going to go to a very nice hotel on the shores of the Mediterranean for you to relax. In a way, I kind of laugh at this, that we shoot ourselves in the leg in that hotel, because it's one of the nicest hotels in Israel. From there, it's going down. I mean, it's not. This is one of the best hotels in Israel. So people ask me, why don't you keep it to the last? I mean, why you put it at first? It's not to set the expectation. It's to make sure you guys are well rested. That's the idea behind it. Okay, so that's on day number 1. Check out this, Chris. It took me a long time. Look at this. Thumbs up.
That's a big plus.
Thank you. It just took me the entire day to do this. Okay, so basically we're going to drive up north, and the itinerary, we're going to go to Caesarea Maritima, Acts 10, Carmel Mountains. We're going to see the place of Prophet Elijah fighting against the prophets of the Baal. Megiddo, the Mount of Megiddo. We're going to visit the site of Revelation 16. We're going to speak about that, and in comparison to Zechariah 12. Then we're going to go to Kidron Valley, the story of Gideon, Deborah, Bechan, the story of Saul, Abishag the Shunammite, and so on and so forth. And then we're going to finish on Mount of Precipice. This view that you see down here, this is Mount of Precipice. According to tradition, this is the place that the Nazarene tried to push Jesus off the cliff, and then he disappeared. We don't go there because we think this is the place, because the Bible doesn't say where is the place. It's just a cliff nearby. But from that point, you can basically see about 3/4 of the Bible. So we usually finish there the first day, just to, to inhale the biblical landscape. So this is Caesarea Maritima, and then the next day, we're going to be around the sea, the Kidron Valley and the Sea of Galilee. So we're going to be in Nazareth. Sipori is the most important biblical city, and it's not mentioned in the Bible, not even once. Why is that? If you want to understand Jesus as a boy, it's not Nazareth, it's Sipori, because Sipori is the big city where Jesus used to work over there together with Joseph and the brothers. Okay, so when you want to understand the formation, what made Jesus as teachers one of an authority and not one of the scribes, that will be Sipori. Okay, so we're going to be in Sipori, Cana, then Sea of Galilee, and Magdala. This day is basically to build the character of Jesus, that we will get to know Jesus the child. That period of time between the age of 12 and the age of 30 that we don't know much, we will try to pick up pieces together using archaeology to understand who is Jesus of Nazareth, and then later on understand the miracles and the behavior of Jesus. Okay, so that will be, by the way, Sipori is the place that we can really understand the parable of Lazarus and the rich man in hell. That's in Sipori. So that will be, okay, this is Sipori right here. Nazareth, this is Nazareth Church of Annunciation, and this is Cana, the place of the wedding. We are going to try to avoid Catholic churches as much as possible, because if there's one thing that we know for a fact that was not there in the time of Jesus, is a Catholic church.
That's
So,
safe to say.
yes. So we will try to keep as much biblically accurate as possible and archaeologically accurate as possible. No traditions, no crusades, no, if it's not There physically, we're not going to visit. Okay. Continuing day 5, we're going to go up to Caesarea Philippi. Upon this rock, I should build my church. We're going to go and see that and understand the importance of Acts of that story and how it is a tremendous event. Then Acts 9, of course, the road to Damascus, city of Dan, where we're going to see the gate of Abraham, which is recounted in Genesis 14, and the remains of the altar of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, the real altar. He made 2 altars for the golden calf, one here, one in Bethel. This one here is still there. I mean, the foundation, we can see it. Then we're going to go take up the road to Damascus. This is taken from the road to Damascus, this picture. And we're going to go up to the Golan Heights. We're going to have the view of the Bashan, the biblical Bashan. If you remember Og and his war against Moses. So we're going to go there. And then we're going to finish our day with the view over the cliffs of Gadara, the miracle of the swines. Go and tell the other what God has done to you this day. Okay, so that will be in Gadara.
Also, just by way of mentioning, when we go up to the Golan Heights, you're going to have a very good view of basically Syria from there, correct? In Lebanon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and coffee shop up there. So there's, it's a nice little visit up there.
Best croissant in the world, by the way. The French can learn a lot from us. So, okay, so we are going to go up. Okay, this is the tour that we're doing. By the way, something very, very important. We try to pick the hotels according to the progress of the itinerary to save time. So, yes, it means that we're going to change about 4 hotels during our trip in 10 days, but we are going to save tons and tons of time in commute. Instead of staying in one place and then back and forth all the time and losing a lot of time in commute, we are moving along with the itinerary. So first hotel will be in the shores of the Sea of Galilee, just to refresh. Then second hotel will be somewhere around the Sea of Galilee. Okay. Third hotel will be in the Dead Sea, and the fourth hotel will be in Jerusalem. So it goes along with the itinerary. This is Mount of Beatitudes, actually. It's a cool picture. Okay, so we're going to go, again, we're still in the Sea of Galilee. We're going to see Mount of Beatitude, Capernaum, that's the synagogue right behind me. Tabka, the place of the miracle of the loaves and fish. Then we're going to have a fish lunch, which is included. We always include that fish lunch, that you actually eat the tilapia that Peter pulled out, 153 fish. This is the same kind of fish. You will eat it. It's an experience, and it's delish. It really is. Then we're going to go sailing on the Sea of Galilee, and then we're going to be baptized in the Jordan River. So that's day 5. That's Capernaum. One of my favorite things, by the way, is to teach Lord of Sabbath in this synagogue, because that's where it happened. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Then, this is the cliffs of Gadara right here. This is the cliffs of Gadara. This is baptism and Capernaum. And this is the sailing on the Sea of Galilee. Then we're going to make ourselves, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Just a quick question. Will we have time to go up on Mount Arbel?
We can add it. Mount Arbel is a gorgeous view. It's one of the best views, actually, I think.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that.
We can definitely add this, yes. For example, if we're going to say, let's take down city of Dan and replace that with Arbel, we can do that. Don't forget, we will try to squeeze as much as we can, but the problem with the National Park Authority, they close down at 3 p.m.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Government workers, it's the same all over the world. So we need to be very smart about it. But yes, we can add and we can tweak whatever you want.
Okay, well, actually, Dan would probably be more appropriate for them to see. It's just Arbel has a good panoramic view.
True, but I can tell you that by that time when you guys going to be here, I didn't tell you that. I'm moving from the Ela Valley up to the Golan Heights. My home will be on the cliffs of Gadara. That's exactly where the swines be.
Oh, okay.
So the view from there is spectacular. I mean, really nice.
That'd be good.
Yeah. So we are now, this is the longest stretch we're going to have from Sea of Galilee all the way down to the Dead Sea. It's about an hour and a half drive, 2 hours. It's about 2-hour drive, okay, all the way down. So the way it looks like, we are going to start at Beit Shan. Beit Shan is the most preserved. The nickname of Beit Shan is Pompeii of the Middle East. It's the most preserved Roman city in the Middle East. We're going to start Beit Shan, very important biblically. This is the place of the fasting of the bodies of Saul and his sons after the battle in Gilboa. We're going to visit Qumran and see the caves where they found the Dead Sea Scrolls. Actually, they just found another one about less than a week ago.
Yes. Mhm.
I got to put an update about this in the next update from the Valley. I'm going to speak about that. Then we're going to go to En-Gedi. We either going to hike En-Gedi or we're going to go. There's a beautiful viewpoint overlooks the entire gorge where we're going to read 1 Samuel 23 and 24 about David's encounter with Saul. That's going to be En-Gedi. Then we go down and we have some time to relax at the Dead Sea. This is the reason why we choose to stay at the Dead Sea, because if we don't have enough time in the day that we arrive to the Dead Sea because of so many sites, you will gonna have time in the morning to go and to be to float in the Dead Sea and then continue up. And these are very nice hotels. The Dead Sea are very nice hotels. This is, by the way, cave number 4. This is the largest codex of Dead Sea Scrolls ever been found. More than 500 scrolls were found in this cave number 4. Dead Sea Scrolls. Then in the morning we're gonna wake up and we're gonna go up Masada. We're gonna take the cable car going up to Masada. Masada is spectacular. I mean, really, it's a spectacular site. It's a biblical era. Of course, it's not mentioned in the Bible, but that's 1st century AD. Breathtaking. I would like to add, Chris, I didn't put it in this itinerary, but I would like to add also also Gamla.
Okay, that'd be good. Yeah.
Gamla is a prototype of Masada.
Well, if anybody,
right?
If anybody gets out of hand, we're going to have them climb the snake trail up Masada. Okay.
Well, you know, you need to lose all the because of the food we're gonna eat there. You need to lose some weight. That's a good way.
I've hiked that before. About kill me.
You are going to see our Father in heaven if you're gonna walk up this snake path. You will. Eventually. So we're gonna be in Masada for quite a bit. It's a gorgeous site, and then that's the Dead Sea, by the way. And then from Masada, we're gonna make our way down back to Jerusalem. Here we go. And we're going to go through, we're going to enter through the Triumph Way, same as Jesus did, from Mount of Olives. So this is the itinerary. We're going to go to Masada, drive to Jerusalem, Mount of Olives, and then we're going to go to the Garden of Gethsemane. From there, I added this, walk along the Kidron Valley. There's so many end time prophecies associated with the Kidron Valley. So many. And so many groups are just looking at the Kidron Valley and that's it. They don't even walk in. It is quite an experience. This is the Valley of Jehoshaphat. You know, in the judgment day, when God will judge among the living and the dead, this is it. This is the place in Zechariah. This is Zechariah 14. So that's a powerful place. So I added this to the itinerary. This is the Garden of Gethsemane. This is Mount of Olives. And it's just cool pictures of Jerusalem. This is from the west point of Jerusalem. This is David's citadel that we will visit over there. This is Kidron Valley. See this? This walkway. This is what I was talking about. Here is Mount of Olives. This is Gethsemane, and this is the Kidron Valley. This is what I want to walk. Okay. And this is the foot of the city walls of Jerusalem. Day 9. That's a big day. Day 9 is a big day. Early visit to Temple Mount. Why I put an asterisk over here? Temple Mount is controlled by Jordan. So it's because it's a very delicate place, politically speaking. So it's with an asterisk because we don't know if we'll be able to go up or not. So just keep that in mind. It's there, but we cannot guarantee it. So that's Temple Mount. Then City of David, which is one of the most important sites in all of Israel. It is a really, really important site, including Pool of Siloam. When we're going to read John 9, that's right there. We know exactly where it happened. Okay, so it's a huge place for prayer, for healing miracles. It really is. Then we're going to go to the southern steps. I put down the birthplace of the church because this is the place where the mass baptism by Peter took place after the descent down of the Holy Spirit. So the church basically was born over there. Okay, it wasn't Jesus, it was Peter. So that's the southern steps. Then we're going to go to an actual dig in Mount Scopus. This is called the Sifting Project. Sifting Project is that basically the Islamic Waqfs tried to erase any memory of our temple from Temple Mount, and they dumped huge amount of archaeological debris to the Kidron Valley. We scooped it out with about 800 trucks, and there is an institute up in Mount Scopus that you guys, we are big contributors. The Bible Center is a big contributor of this project. You actually sift the soil of Temple Mount, and you will find artifacts. It is incredible. Some groups found a coin, other finds Roman nail, and another group found a Pepsi bottle from 1964. So you'll find everything over there. Then we're going to visit the burnt house from the time of Jesus. It's the place where probably the house of Caiaphas been, the real one, not the Catholic tradition. This is a house that was owned by a very rich Sadducees family, priesthood family, and it was destroyed in the year 70 AD. So we're going to visit that. You're going to have free time in the ancient bazaar, and then the Sun and Light show in Jerusalem is really spectacular. It's the entire history of the city is being projected on the walls of the city. It's really beautiful. So this is the southern steps. Okay, Gate Beautiful, by the way, is right over here. This is Gate Beautiful. These are the three entrances to the temple. Gate Beautiful is here. I mean, it's right here when it ends, but you can see it. Okay, so these are the southern steps that go up to the Temple Mount. Of course, the Western Wall. Goes without saying, I didn't put down visit the Western Wall. We will visit the Western Wall several times. Okay, so Western Wall, this is the Sound and Light show. And this is all the walls of the city. It's really spectacular. Day 10, we're going to go to the Garden Tomb. From the Garden Tomb, we're going to have communion, and then we're going to drive to the Ella Valley. We're going to analyze the battle of David and Goliath. Visit an Israeli family. If I'm going to move to the Golan Heights, take this and switch it to day 3. Israeli family is my family, so it's going to be in my home. If not, then it's still going to be in the Ella Valley. We're going to have a farewell dinner, and from there depends on the flight. If it's an overnight flight, we're going to go from there straight to the airport and then fly back to the States. If it's not an overnight flight, we're going to back to Jerusalem, stay that night. Oh, that's a Garden Tomb. And then in the morning, early morning, we're going to drive to the airport. Okay, so that will be the area of the Ella Valley. This is the Ella Valley. We're going to analyze the battle of David and Goliath, 1 Samuel 17. Here it is. And yeah, and that's going to be our way out. Look at this. Wait, there's a surprise. Aha. Chris, are you impressed?
Very nice.
Okay. Questions? Now, before the questions, folks, this was an 11-day tour. This is an 11-day tour. Most of the tours are 10 days. So we are going to build this together with Chris to make sure it's within the budget. Everything is fine. Most of the sites you will get to see. I do think that if by the time we're going to move to the Golan Heights, I will put more emphasis on the Golan Heights, because I like our groups to explore my own personal home. That's a personal take of mine. So now there's almost a full day in the Ella Valley, but if we're going to be in the Golan Heights, there's going to be more emphasis on the miracles of Jesus up in the Golan Heights. We're still going to go to the Ella Valley, but maybe less time. Melinda, please.
Do you know what the dates are for next year that this trip would happen?
Actually, we didn't set a date, but hold on. I checked with Turkish Airlines. Let me see. 1 second. Because I told them basically give me the best dates you have. So this has no obligation at all. I just want to ask you guys if this will be okay. What they gave me back. There we go. They gave me back February 7 to the 16th of 2022. Will that be? I mean, again, we didn't even speak about it. I just told them what are the best dates you can give me. It's actually a very good time to fly to Israel in February because it's not cold. It is our rainy season, but it's because it's the rainy season, it's the most beautiful season. It's lush and green. Chris, will you play with those dates?
I'm pretty sure they would be good. What's the temperature down in the Dead Sea around that time?
In Celsius, daytime will be about 20 degrees Celsius. So that will be ish 60s.
Okay, so yeah, pretty much what we can float in the Dead Sea. People will be comfortable in it.
So this is Sandra. That won't work for me. I'm out. Y'all have fun.
The Dead Sea, don't forget, it's not Lake Michigan. Even when it's the coldest day in Israel, it's still warmer. Your challenge will be up in the Jordan River.
Hang on one second. Let's Sandra, if you can unmute for a second. So is that just because of that date, or is that season because of
Anything before March 30th, I can't do.
Okay.
But you can't plan around me. So
Yeah, the only problem with doing it after March 30th is that's probably when the prices go quite up, don't they? Yeah.
When we're gonna get close to Easter, prices jump dramatically.
And I'm not sure why, because Jesus already rose from the dead. We're not going to see him coming.
what about going in the fall as opposed to the spring?
We can. Those dates, I just ask Turkish, what are the best availability you can give me? What is and that will affect tremendously the price, by the way.
Mhm.
Because
What about fall? Well, like she said about fall dates, how do fall dates compare price wise?
it's more expensive.
Oh, is it?
That's
Okay.
more expensive than February. January, February is the best time to travel in terms of value for money, because
Okay.
it's the winter time is the best time.
I had someone who texted me a question about going to the Holocaust Museum.
Sure, we can add it to the itinerary. Absolutely.
Is that I'm trying to think, because that's just outside of Jerusalem, isn't it?
Correct? Yes.
Okay, so one of those days, do we have to, like, if people wanted to go there as opposed to maybe to the bazaar or something like that, is that a possibility, or is that we still have to stick as a group there?
No, we don't have to. I mean, again, depends on the corona regulation by then.
Okay.
If all goes well, I hope that by February of next year,
Mhm.
corona will be behind us, by the help of God and the vaccination, in that order. But if back then we can split the group, that don't have to be capsules, sure, absolutely, we can split it, no problem.
Okay. So, yeah, to answer that question then for the person who asked it, yeah, we could work in the Holocaust Museum. And they're also the museum where the Dead Sea Scrolls, I'm trying to think,
Israel Museum.
what that?
Israel Museum.
Yeah. Now, isn't that where that small model of Jerusalem is located?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a good thing. That gives people a good perspective of what of the whole city, looking at the overview of the city too.
Absolutely. Again, what I showed now is just a rough line itinerary. That's definitely, we can tweak and we can change, we can do whatever we want. And I don't know if you noticed, there's no Bethlehem on this itinerary. But again, as I said, I said to Milton, if we're gonna have there, they're gonna tell us, yes, you can go to Bethlehem, let's go to Bethlehem.
Okay. Well, what we could do is we could set up a tentative itinerary with kickouts on things if something changes.
Yeah.
So, well, that worked out well then. Okay. Other thoughts of other places or anything else that anybody's got questions about?
Teresa?
Do we have a price range? Like, didn't we say like 3K or something like that? Just a ballpark would be good.
We don't have it yet, because what we need to do now at this point, once we approve the dates and I say yes to Turkish, we are going to the hotels to get their prices, and then we're going to build a package, and then we will know the cost.
Okay.
Melinda, you had another question. I saw your hand.
I was just curious if the flight to Tel Aviv, if that would be a nonstop flight from Dulles, or
No, there's no nonstop flight from Dulles. we use Turkish because that will be the closest to a nonstop. You fly from Dulles all the way to Istanbul. You have about 2-3 hours layover in Istanbul, and then you have an hour and 45 minutes flight to Israel.
Okay.
Because the
Um,
only
I'm sorry, Omar. Go ahead and finish that, and then I got another question that came in.
Sure. The only nonstop hubs that we have is San Francisco, JFK, Newark, and LA and LAX. That's it, and Toronto. Everything else has to be with at least one stop.
So it would be through what, Istanbul?
Istanbul, yes.
Okay. Someone asked how much more expensive it is in the fall than it is in the springtime.
It's a good question. The hotel prices will be a little bit more expensive in the fall than in the springtime. Airlines, that's the thing. The component, what makes a trip, the main building blocks of the cost of the trip is the land cost and of course the air cost. Air cost can be sometimes as much as 50% of the overall package. So what we can do, if this is going to be comfortable to you, I can try to see how much will be in the beginning of 2022 and how much will be in, let's say, October of 2022. I can do
Okay,
that.
yeah, we can look at both of those and then we can discuss it with everyone. But yeah, once we've gotten through this meeting, I can talk more with people because we have a couple people I've noticed that are interested in going that even aren't on here right now. So we'll find out more about it.
Mhm. Other questions? Yes, Dana, please.
Question on ages. Is there an age on, children's age to bring with you or no?
We had, do you know David Barton? You heard the name David Barton? David is a very, very close friend of mine. He's one of our ministry partners. His granddaughter, Finley, came with their son, Tim, when she was 1.5 years old. So no problem, not a problem. We had kids at the age, actually one of the brightest children I have ever seen. His name was Samuel, and I told him, you live up to your name. You really do. He was on the last trip, actually a year ago. It was exactly a year since COVID, but he was on that group. Incredible kid. He was 10 years old.
Would one of the stays during one of the evenings include staying at a kibbutz? Like Ein Gev or one of those?
We can do it. I mean, as of now, because I didn't check any of the hotels because I wanted to see the dates first. But if you tell me I want to stay in a kibbutz, actually, I got to tell you, in the Golan Heights, there is a kibbutz called Afik. I'll send you later on the accommodation. They stay in little huts. It's not a hotel. It's not a hotel. It's more of like a lodge. Very, very, very family oriented. It's like little cabins. I prefer that over hotel, but that's me.
Yeah, I just know we stayed in Ein Gev, I think one of the other times, and it was nice for a nice setup there. A good, beautiful view of Tiberias on the other side in the evening.
Yep.
Okay.
Other questions, folks?
Any questions? And if we have more questions and you don't think about it now, just let me know what they are because I'll be in contact with Omar and we can get you the answers.
Yeah, hey, this is John.
Hi, John.
Hey, quick question. I don't want to sound, uneducated or kind of ignorant to the area, but as far as rolling with security or any kind of threats of any kind of violence in the area, or I don't know, any situation that were to arise, how is that handled? Or, is somebody with us or I think it's kind of thinking worst case scenario, I guess, but just kind of thoughts that go through my head as far as any kind of personal security or group security or.
So let me answer this. It's funny, when I was a consul in Chicago, they used to ask me about security in Israel, and I used to say, I live in Chicago, and you ask me about safety in Israel? Seriously? In one weekend, there were more gun downs in Chicago than an entire year in Israel. But to give you the full answer for this, John, your guide is obligated every single morning to call to what we call the security room. It's It's a system within the Ministry of Education, actually, the Israeli Ministry of Education. He calls the security room and asks for any updates. He submit them the itinerary, and they ask if there's any updates or anything from our secret services, and they say no, and then you can go. So each group is being associated with a logistical manager back in the back office. You're not going to see them, but if there's any problem, for example, God forbid someone falls down, break their leg, we're going to send someone to help out with the hospital, with the wheelchair, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot more staff involved than just your guide and the driver. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Other questions? Milton, please.
I will say to the security, after many times that I've been there, blessed to be there, security is incredible. Sometimes I feel like secure in America, but at the airport and going in and out of the airport, it is, yeah, security, yes, most definitely. And after our last guide giving us some of that behind the scenes out network, how that works, how they're notified, yes, I feel very secure. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Homer, I had one question come in as far as like tour guides. Now, do you contract the tour guides or do they work directly for you?
It's a very good question. Every tour guide that works for the Bible Center is trained by the Bible Center. We
So
have
is Shy still with you?
Shine On.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think it's yeah,
Shine
okay.
On, yes. Yeah.
The one that we had last time.
Yeah, Shine On. We have guides, just to give it an overview how it works in Israel. A regular agency, not study tours, regular agency, the contract guides, which are all self-employed. Also, our guides are self-employed, all of them. But a regular agency just going to go to the guide based on the available dates. That's it. They're not going to do any tests. They're not going to check his knowledge in the Bible because their job is just to speak about, history, and that's it. They don't do the connections because it's a regular. Our guides, Shai is one of them, have to go through an exam. And also the new generation of guides have to go through our course. We actually have a 10-day course for that is focused on evangelical understanding, evangelical across denomination. There's no specific denomination. And those who finish the course get contracted by us. So we have about 35 guys like that.
Okay.
Other questions?
And just for it's John again. I'm sorry. And just for, I mean, I could look it up, but I could also ask you because you're here. How long is that flight from East Coast United States to Istanbul?
All in all, from Washington to Israel, including the layover, about 16, 17 hours. That's including the layover. So the flight from Dulles to Istanbul is about, I would say, 9 hours, 9 to 10 hours. That's the big leg. Then you have about 2 hours layover, then an hour and 45 minutes to Israel.
Accurate compression socks, people.
Yeah. Walk on the plane. Every time, by the way, that a group lands in Israel and our guys asking, so how was the flight? Everybody being so polite to say, oh, it was nice. No, it was not nice. You are packed like a sardine for 10 hours, but you're very polite. Thank you so much.
One thing I noticed, like the times I have flown over there, I did something a little different, and I'm not suggesting everybody do this, but I would stay up during the entire flight so that when I got into Tel Aviv, I was exhausted, so I go right to sleep, and that way when I woke up in the morning, I was actually on Israel time, and so my body had already adjusted the 8 hours because once you're there, you are exhausted from that flight. Now, as far as when you come back, I don't have any secrets on that one. That usually takes a couple days to sort of recuperate from that. Any other concerns or questions? I think, Omar, you addressed the one with security issues and all pretty well, so I think that's sort of taken care of.
We just a quick note. You guys gonna get from us an amenity pack, which by the way, Chris, has been upgraded since the last time you were here.
Okay.
So you'll get a hat, you'll get the special booklets that we have for the study tour. You're gonna have a QR code system for all the sites that you're going to be at. You are going to have a power bank. Each traveler is going to get a power bank for you to be able to charge either your headset or your phone, and you are going to get an adapter that adapts from the US socket to an outline to electricity to Israeli. There's a big difference between a converter and an adapter, huge difference. If you are planning to use that adapter on a computer, an iPad, cell phone, anything with an internal converter, not a problem. If you want to take your curling thingy or whatever other kind of those medieval devices, that will not work. So don't bring those. They will have hair dryer in most of the hotels. I cannot say the kibbutz, but if there's a problem, we're gonna get the group a hair dryer. But in most cases, that adapter, not a converter, is good for all your small electric appliances they're gonna bring with you.
So if I'm just concerned, so if I get over there, you can get me a hair dryer and a curling iron if I need one.
For you, I'm gonna get you.
Any other questions, anyone? All right, now, how will we access this video for others who would like to be able to see it?
I'm going to convert that to a file. I'll send you. You know what? I can put it just on our YouTube. I'm gonna put it on our YouTube and send it to you, and then people can just watch it.
Okay, because I would like to send it to a few other people who we may have some other people. Oh, that brings up an interesting question. So will there be like I may have a couple from South Carolina that are interested in coming and a couple from Wisconsin. So would they just fly to DC and meet up with us there to fly over?
If they will fly from where?
Wisconsin, up, the northernmost part of the United States, and then south of us, South Carolina. Would it be most economical for them to fly to DC and then fly out with us, or would you make a different arrangement?
I would say we have two ways around this. If they will fly with a group, then they're completely under the responsibility of Turkish Airlines. So if they arrive, let's say a little bit before and meet us in DC and then fly over, if there's any problem in the flights, they're under their umbrella of Turkish Airlines. If they're going to fly by themselves, if there's any kind of glitch, airlines, Turkish will not deal with it.
So the best thing for me to do is to advise them to fly out with us as a group from Dulles.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
They can fly by themselves directly to Israel, but then they're going to have to either wait for the group or take their own transfer to the hotel, which we have groups that do that.
Yeah. No, I didn't know if like if the package would, if there was a way for you to get them from their location to DC cheaper, since you deal with the airlines more.
There's two different systems in the airlines. There's group system, there's individual system. It's not the same. A group system is much more complicated than individual. Individual, you see it on Priceline. You can just book it on Priceline. But the big difference is that once you book on Priceline along the individual ticketing, it's non-refundable. With the group, you have certain limitation. It can cost, like, the penalty is much lower and stuff like that. So it's two different systems.
Now, is there any need for travel insurance or anything like that? Because I forget what we did with that.
I always suggest to buy travel insurance. I always suggest to do that, regardless to wherever you go. We can provide local health insurance in a very good cost here in Israel. It will not cover any kind of financial loss. It will only cover medical expenses. So there are a lot of very good companies in the States. I remember when I lived in Chicago, there was like a Safeguard and Travel Guard and all those. That Alliance are very, very big. So I would strongly recommend to buy travel insurance. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
Regarding the folks coming from other areas, can I infer that you would give us a price if we fly with Turkish, or if we choose to fly ourselves and buy our own tickets? Would you
Yeah.
price them separately?
Yeah, we can do what I can do. I can give Pastor Chris two different costs. One will be air and land, and the other one will be just land.
Okay.
And then you can choose what you want. Now, just to clear how it works, in tourism, 1 + 1 never equals 2. Okay, just to understand that. So because I want to give an example. Our logic says that a group rate should be cheaper than individual, but that's not the case. Why? A group rate is an average cost of all the seats in the plane. So for example, when you go to Priceline and you want to book a seat, if you click and you see the seat will be $9.99. 10 minutes later, you go to the same flight, the same seat is $1,200. Why? Because someone already bought that seat. So a group rate is basically, it's a fixed price for the entire group. Very different. That's in short, it's just a big difference between a group ticketing and individual ticketing. Other questions?
I think we're good.
Wonderful. So let's do this, folks. I will convert this. I'm going to send this to you, Chris, for you to distribute that. If you're okay with those dates that I told you, let me tell you them again. They are February 7 to the 16th. 7
Okay.
to the 16th. I will check with the hotels. I will try to put us in a kibbutz. And I will send you a draft itinerary. Look at this. Tell me what you want to add, what you want to take out, all of that, and then we will take it from there.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll have a meeting once we get that. Now, I don't know about, as far as the kibbutz, I don't know if they're more expensive or less expensive, or if it's any difference and all. I mean, you know, it's not like we had to stay in one. I just know we stayed in one once before, and it was an interesting, a good experience and all. But if it's going to cost more, that doesn't have to be something we do.
If any, it's going to cost less. If any,
Okay.
It's going to cost less. For myself, I always laugh at this. I'm a redneck. I'm a farm boy. I like the kibbutz much better than hotels, but that's me.
Well, I like it too, because I think it's a very interesting experience, because the kibbutz, just for those of you who don't know what they are, it's where in Israel years ago, the farmers would have farm hands that lived in the kibbutz, and they worked the farm, but they lived right individual little, each of them had their own little like house, so to speak. What's that, Barbara? I mean, a brown dog. What's that? What's that, Sandra? No.
Sorry, Andy and I were having a discussion. I forgot I was unmuted.
Okay, that's okay. All right. Sounds
But
good.
so Chris, sorry, I'm back. We did suggest pricing it both ways, the dates he
Correct.
said and in the fall.
Yeah,
Good.
you're gonna give us.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Now we'll price it both ways and see what we can do.
So if you can do me kindness, Chris, you can send me the dates on the fall. Tell me which dates will be best for you. Just speak with the people.
Okay, well, let's do something right there. Sandra, you were saying the fall, and I think Laura Howe was talking about the fall. Is there certain times or dates that you think are better or more feasible?
Anytime after March 30th is fine with me.
Okay, and what about you, Laura? You'll have to unmute though.
Oops. Okay, I'm here. Sorry about that. I was just curious about the cost difference, really. It doesn't really matter to me
So
as far as dates.
okay, then Omar, if you find something in the fall that's a workable, so we have flexibility in the fall, anytime in the fall that you think would be, you know, the cheapest of any of the fall dates then.
Sure. We're going to ask Turkish. Not a problem.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, send us the information and we'll get a meeting together of everybody and we'll go over stuff then.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, folks. See you very soon in Israel. And if you have any questions, please email me via Chris, and I'll be. Oh, my email is my name, omer@tbctl.com. TBCTL, the Bible comes to life.com.
Yeah, and I'd also encourage you all to go on the website. There are a lot of great videos on there, so it'll familiarize you with a lot of the locations there. And so that's a good way to educate yourself on the places we'd be going or places you may want to go that maybe weren't listed.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You all
Thank
have a
you
good.
much.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye. God bless. Happy
All right.
Easter, by the way.
Thank you. Bye.